it's Renee with Delaney Jane Cards. Welcome back to my channel. Today I thought we would talk about mixing stamp companies, creating our own patterns, and undertones when we color. So I was making a kind of a vision board card for a young lady that is about to be adopted. She is a beautiful, wonderful, very talented 17-year-old young lady. She's into fashion and shoes and being a boss. She's going to be she's going to be a woman boss, man. She's going to take over the world. And she has some of the best support I've ever seen. So I wanted to create a very beautiful card for her, something that really would mean something. You see me get ink all over my hand there. I left that in because I thought it was funny. So I didn't use all of the images I end up stamping here. That one got all smushy, so I had to re-stamp it. What I did is I found everything that was fashion related. Well, not everything. A lot of things that were fashion related and encouraging and, you know, really like I am the boss kind of things that I had in my stamp sets. And it spanned several different companies. And I used lots of different techniques here, like you would when you make a vision board. You know, you cut things out of magazines, you print things off the internet, you find quotes and phrases and things that really appeal to you and photos of things that you want. And that's what I did here. I really wanted to inspire her to keep going. So that's why you see the things that you do. Like I said, I stamped way more than I needed. I had specific vision on what I wanted, but cards don't always turn out like they look in your head, because I always feel like I have more room than I end up with, and I end up with, you know, two more things than I needed, which was good because then I got to pick and choose, and you'll see that process a little bit later. But here I had stamped anything that I was going to Copic color. I used my Ink on 3 blackout ink for the solid inspire and that you are the boss or whatever that it says down there. I used the colored inks from Lawn Fawn, and then here I did this in gold embossing. That's one of those free stamps from like Cardmaker's magazine or something like that. Always good stash items. So the stamps that I end up using, this girls in this Polaroid photo is a Stamping Bella image. The young lady with the bow in her hair, that is a Mama Leahy image. And the shoes, that is a May Made It image. So there's a lot of different things here. But like I said, it would be like pulling it from magazines and places that inspire you. So I wanted to do it like that. I didn't want to just pull from one set. Everything is kind of too matchy then, and I didn't think it was going to give the feel that I wanted. In the end, I absolutely love how this card turned out, and I wish I made cards like this more often, because I am a fan of like mash up cards where you use lots of different stamp companies. I just don't always have time to put this kind of time in here. This was a 4-hour session for card making because it has a lot of coloring, and you see that it's a long video. It's about 15 minutes or so, 16 minutes. It is spliced and diced and sped up in every place that I possibly could. So here's where I wanted to talk about undertones. Her hair is not going to be purple. I swear to you, it is going to be a rich dark black with purple undertones. You could use any color here or none. You don't have to put an undertone color under there. I just really wanted to. This young lady is into adding color into her box braids, and she wears wigs and really has fun with her hair in all sorts of fashion ways. So I wanted to kind of inspire her to keep going with that. And this photo is supposed to represent my cousin who will be adopting her, and her maybe taking a selfie, or what is it, Ussie, when we're together. So I wanted to kind of color them to look like each of them. So this one here is supposed to represent my cousin, and they have the heart-shaped, um, creating a heart with their hands. I thought that was really cute. So here, in order to pull that undertone from the hair out even more, I chose to use the same BB color to color this top. And it creates this really beautiful jewel toned bluey purple color. I absolutely love it. But these markers are kind of far apart, so I did do some tip to tip just to blend it just a little bit better. But I have plenty of shadow and highlight there to create a really nice image. Then I chose to do her the other shirt in a really jewel tone red. I thought the two colors would be beautiful together. This RV69 that I have is dying, and the tip is like crunchy hard. It's got ink in it. It's one of my oldest Copics. I think it needs to either get a new nib and refilled, or I just need to upgrade it to a sketch marker, which I can see happening. So there are the two young ladies in their beautiful jewel toned shirts. And then I just chose a B marker to fill in the background here. I believe this is B93. I wasn't sure if I wanted this to look like sky or maybe a pool or water. They do live in Florida, so you just never know where they are. But I wanted it to look like a background that they maybe would have taken a sea on in with behind. I don't know. So this is a Polaroid, and I know that's like a foreign language right now with all the new digital stuff, but it had a white frame, and I thought I would put a little shading. Oh, here, look at that marker is dry. When the tip gets white, you know that it is time to refill, and that one is set aside. I need to order the refill on that. So this other young lady here, I wanted the colors to coordinate with the other colors. I am using stamp companies, all different stamp companies and all different images, but I wanted the images to look cohesive. So I'm trying to keep colors that would coordinate, that would be in the same family, things that would look nice together. So here I'm using my cool grays to create basically a deep gray or a black dress on this young lady. And then I am using gold tones for the details on the dress. I used that gold embossing so the gold tones would tie in. And then I'm using the same reds that I used on the shirt for the shoes and the purse. And then I colored her hair. And I could have just filled this in, but instead I used a bunch of layers of colors and I scribbled them on in kind of a circular motion, starting with my lightest color. And what this does is it creates depth and texture in the hair. And I didn't use any funny undertone. There's no purple in this one, but I used that all over color underneath, and I don't quite cover it up with the next color, and I don't quite cover the next color up with the next color. So it all does peek through, and it does make a difference than if you just lay down a flat color, and it doesn't really take that long. And honestly, I love to color. So even if it did take a while, I would be fine with it. And you could stop at any point, and this would work for any curly hair. But I wanted to really add lots of depth and dimension, and I did end up pulling out, I think this is an N9 or W9, and then black. I actually did use black in her hair, but it doesn't look black. It definitely has a lot of depth and dimension. So I use the same reds for the bow and the hair and the earrings that are really hard to see on this camera. And then here with these shoes, I love this set from May. And sometimes I paper piece these shoes, but I just wanted to color them. And I got to a certain point and wasn't sure what I was going to do with the main part of the shoe. And I just decided to go for it and add some like animal print. So I just scribbled in some circles and kind of almost they're not round circles. So it definitely looks more animal print. And it was not my favorite looking, and the farther I got in the shoes, it definitely looked better. At first I was like, oh no, what did I do? I'm gonna need to stamp this over. But I ended up really, really loving it, and I feel like I would buy these shoes. I wouldn't wear them because am not very good at walking in heels, but I feel like this young lady that is receiving this, she might actually wear these shoes and she would rock them like they are supposed to be rocked. She's such a cute young lady and she's so good at all the fashion things. I think she's starting like a makeup business and I see her with a clothing line. I mean, I see big things for this young lady and I just can't wait to see where she is in 5 years. I am going to be amazed where she is. I know it. And I think her name is going to be one of those that is a household name. I really believe in her. So here I was coloring the inside of the shoes because who doesn't like a fun like inside of a shoe? So I chose to do the gold. Again, tying back to the colors that I used for the other images. I hadn't really pulled out any additional markers. These are all the same colors. And everything looks different, but they all have those same tones, so they all coordinate. So here is a die cut piece of, I think it's Nina Desert Storm cardstock. And what I did was took all these brown tones that I had used and I stippled them on. And I wanted this to end up looking like a cork board. And then after I did that, I took some of the lighter tones and blended over the entire thing because I really wanted to blend this together and make it really rich looking, just like a cork board where you can see the texture, but it's kind of blurry. So that is what I did. Make sure that, you know, kind of all blended together nice. And I have that You Are Something Wonderful there, and it's got a gold framer on it. Those are stamps from two different companies. Like the stamp market is the Center Sentiment, and the frame is a Gina K Designs. I don't end up using that, but I do have it set aside for an additional card in the future because it just fit perfect and it worked out so beautifully, and I don't know, how could I throw it away? So I pulled out some tonic gold cardstock. I think it's honey gold, again, to tie back to that gold. And I started kind of playing around here. You'll see that I have all these images, and if I lay them all out on this cork board, it is way too much stuff. And the images themselves are actually not like scale to the cork board. Like that is a really large Polaroid for that, you know, but it is what it is. So here I'm just playing around with everything, and I don't know if everybody does this, play around. I mean, usually I have kind of an idea how I want my things to go down, but this was kind of a, I don't know, create as I go kind of thing. So the word happy, I did just fussy cut that. I don't have a die for that. That is a Pink and Main stamp, and it's a really nice, bold sentiment stamp. I like that one. And then the Adoption and Day. Adoption is from a different Pink and Main set, and Day is from that happy set. Inspire, Slay, and the young lady with the bow in her hair. And I'm not bossy, I'm the boss. Those are all from a Mama Leahy set. The dress form is from a set that came in a card making magazine. The I Am Forever on Team U is a Simon Says Stamp CZ Designs stamp set. The shoes, like I said, are Mimi Made It. The Polaroid is a Stamping Bella. So I just pulled everything I possibly could to make this card everything I wanted. There, good reason to use liquid adhesive. I had to pick that up because I wanted to span that heart that the two ladies are making. And I wanted to make sure that my happy, the P's or the Y did not cover that. And there I had glued everything down before sticking that I am not bossy, I'm the boss sign in, and decided it looked just fine over there by the shoes. And here I was trying to make sure that you could still see that heart because that is super important, that coming together for this sentiment here. And then the adoption. I did use the Simon Says Stamp labels dies to cut these little pieces out. You just die cut it and then you slide it over to where you want it and then die cut the other end, or you can trim it off. I just really liked the pressure cut edge on them. And then I adhered it to my tonic gold cardstock. Made sure the shoes were stuck down. Added a little bit of white gel pen detail. Not much. I really didn't want to make anything stand out in particular. I wanted this to be all about the mash-up of items, because that's what a bulletin board would look like, or a vision board. So here's some still shots of the card. I have included several more than I usually do so you can see close-ups, because the videos don't always do things justice. You can get closer to things like the hair and the coloring, and the textures that are in the bulletin board and the pattern in the shoes. I would love to hear what you think of this card, and thank you for stopping by. And you should see another video on your screen if you'd like to continue watching. I really appreciate you stopping by. And subscribe and like and share if you want to. And what was your favorite part of this card? I think my favorite part was the scary shoes, because I just went for it.